Yo, welcome to another episode of Blank Pages. Yo, there's no way that we all from New York and we not about to be a little bit ratchet. We are from New York. Not every time I'm gonna be like, welcome to Blank Pages. You know, I could be nice sometimes, but yeah. Yo, welcome to Blank Pages. Once again, I am your crazy host, Khalib. To our right is the lovely Tony Ann, our co-host.
How y'all doing?
Our amazing AV tech guy, Ray. His name is Ray. I call him Raymundo. You call him Ray. All right? But today is nice. Today is fun. I hope your week was great. I hope you had a blessed week. I hope you had a great week. And if you didn't, thank you for stopping by. If you have, thank you for stopping by. But if you did not, I hope you can have a better week. Start your day off right today. We have a nice, juicy episode for you today. But we're going to start it off with something that I love. Facts. I like random facts, weird facts. So we're just going to hop on into it. And, yeah. So, Tony, what facts you got?
So, my weird fact is that there's also a species of jellyfish that is immortal.
Okay. What are they called?
They're called Torritopsis dohrnii. And they were first discovered in 1880. So they've been toughing it out for a while.
So what makes, so they don't die?
Technically they don't die. So it's genetically like a medusa.
Okay.
So it's what it says, genetically identical medusae, where they'll, first of all, they grow to adulthood in a matter of weeks.
Oh.
And they start off from like a larva called a planula.
Okay.
And it develops into a fertilized egg, swims at first, and then settles on the sea floor and grows into a cylindrical colony of polyps. And then these polyps ultimately spawn free swimming, genetically medusas, and those become jellyfish.
Oh, so they birth from like a jellyfish tree, basically.
Essentially.
Oh, okay. What about you, Ray? What about you?
So
sorry.
We just learned about jellyfish, and my brain is just like, so they just grow from a tree? Okay.
So butterflies actually taste with their feet.
Okay.
Right. So that's my fun fact or interesting fact that I have for you guys.
So what's funny is that when Ray presented his fun fact about butterflies, I went crazy because it's a lot more. Do you guys know that butterflies also, they taste, granted, they taste with their feet, but what do they eat? Like, just ask yourself that question real quick. What do butterflies eat?
Pollen.
Okay, that's one. Tony?
I don't know. Pollen would have been the only thing.
True. Okay. So butterflies, they do eat pollen. I mean, they may go to a flower or two, but their main source of protein, of nutrition, is feces. Wow. Their favorite mixture is fox pee and dung. And when I mean dung, I mean doodle. They have something where they call it groupland, where they will all like gather around like a pile of mud and like suck up the nutrients. So it could be anything that's unalive, because you really can't be saying the D word on any type of social media. So unalive, stuff that is like their favorite one is doodle, feces, pee, blood. They are known to eat blood, will suck up blood. And also they do like salty things. So when you see a butterfly land on you, it is not God touching you and saying you are blessed. I mean, you are blessed. It is them attracted to your salt glands inside your skin. And you might have feces on your arm. I just want to let y'all know that.
You didn't have to ruin butterflies.
Like the fact that they taste with their hands and they land on feces because it has a little salt in it is...
And also,
what's the difference between them and flies then? Other than looks?
I don't know. Yo, you know the episode of SpongeBob when he started freaking out about the butterfly? I understand why. Because if you are, let's say like you're a turtle or a crocodile, right? You will get assaulted by butterflies on purpose on your eyes so you can cry so they can soak up your tears.
What?
Butterflies aren't angels.
You're ruining butterflies.
Evil little minions, bro.
Nature is something else, man.
By the way, did you know there's a poisonous butterfly in Africa?
No, I
There
didn't
is
know
a
that.
poisonous
Yeah, because
butterfly.
God said, why not? Yeah. God said, why not? Yeah. There's also a butterfly where its wings is camouflaged to look like a snake. Like the tip of it looks like a snake. And it literally warns off any type of predators. But there is a poisonous butterfly, and that joint is big.
That's interesting.
It's in Africa. But yeah, besides that, my random fact, I like to give random facts that will probably make your body go, what the heck is going on? Did you know that the human body cannot live without mucus?
What?
Like,
Why are you cheesing so hard?
Because like all these things that we be like, yuck, mucus.
Maniacal. You look maniacal.
Like on some evil.
Oh my
But yeah, if you were to
gosh.
take out all the mucus within your body will shrivel up and die.
Yeah, it's
Mucus is
necessary.
actually good.
Mhm.
It actually traps bad bacteria, but if you have too much mucus, then the body will start to, and start to cough up snot and whatnot and whatnot. But yeah, these are some dope facts. I mean, I got more for you. Like half of the heart, what we think like are herbivores, like deers and whatnot. They be eating bunny rabbits and raccoons whenever they have a tasting for it.
I didn't know
Wait.
chicken would eat other chickens too.
Facts. Yeah.
Like-
yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah. Oh, you just thought what? Chicken Little was just okay? Nah, he likes himself some fried chicken sometimes. They will eat each other.
they eat each other.
No, wait, let's not drown the people in these crazy facts. They're gonna start looking at butterflies and chickens and deers the weird
Differently.
way. I mean, they're not gonna eat you, but they might eat your cat. If they hungry enough. Yeah, I have a lot more. We will do this segment again because like oh my gosh, animals are so amazing. Animals are so. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna save that story for another time about how the orangutan decided to break out of the zoo like on. All right, you know what? Might as well tell the story. So right, there was this zoo. I don't know if it was in America or the UK, but this has happened frequently. And basically, the orangutans, they will be in their zoo keep, and the zookeeper would find them outside of their cage, just chilling. When he will come back from work, come to work from the previous day. And he's just like, yo, who keeps on letting these orangutans out? Why all the time? Like he's blaming the workers, like, cause you don't think the monkeys are doing it? Nah, they doing it. My boy somehow figured out how to take like one of those clothes wires and unlock the door. And every time the zookeeper came to see him, my man will hide underneath his lip to hide it. My guy is smart. Yo, he was letting, and you know what's funny? That's how you know the orangutan is a real one. My man released himself and his homies. He's like, yo, we all about to party. We about to go see the zebras and say how you doing. Like he was letting these monkeys out, and they was just cool. Now, granted, they weren't very aggressive,
Okay.
but this is why Planet of the Apes scares me. Because if they understand and start to cultivate sign language, we are doomed. You think you could beat up a gorilla? I can't.
Nope.
They practically got hands, so they started learning how to shoot. Woo! But not to get into the Planet of the Apes, because we are not being sponsored by their new movie. However, yeah, we're about to get into these things. So the topic for today, because we just wanted to be a little lighthearted because it's a serious topic. We always hear about it. It's within our daily conversations or our daily thoughts or daily on social media, and the topic is discipline. So yeah, we sat down and we were just saying, let's knock out a talked about topic so much, but make it make sense for y'all. So when it comes to discipline, like what do you guys take like discipline, Ray?
Self-control. Yeah. The ability to have barriers and basically not allowing different elements to throw you off of your goal,
True.
right? And so that's what discipline. That's the first word that comes to mind when I hear discipline. Yeah.
What about you? What's the first word you hear when you hear it?
Focus.
Mm.
Staying on track, regardless of what's going on around you, and just getting it done despite how you feel. At least to me. Focus.
The word that pops in my head is like progressive.
Progressive.
Because when it comes to discipline, I see how even I fall at this, where just because I'm disciplined, it means that it's about to work. Because I'm disciplined, everything is going to work out. And to be honest, that's not how it really works. It just means that you are dedicated to this and you're moving in a progressive way. So whether you have a mishap, discipline will keep on having you progressive. Well, that's why I believe it's like progressive. So if you were to like make a definition or basically like define like discipline within its importance, how would you like define that for somebody? Because it's a broad, like
It's very broad.
it's very broad. Because when you normally hear about discipline, you always hear the things of what you got to do. And granted, yes, it has a lot to do with the actions. But like we uncovered the last podcast, it's a lot about your mindset too.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have the right mindset, you won't have discipline. So when it comes to discipline, how would you normally like define it and like what is its importance?
This proverb changed or kind of defined how discipline is for me. It says, lack of discipline is like a city without walls.
Yo, we said that the last pod.
You did? Oh, man.
That's not even the last. Sorry, not the last pod because you weren't here in the last episode. But we did do a recording prior to this, and I literally said that, bro. But continue.
See, great minds think alike.
Facts.
So it's like a city without walls that is broken down.
Facts.
So if you think about it, all your goals and your life endeavors, if you don't have discipline, you're leaving them open to be vulnerable to not achieving those things or having them being destroyed because of either, lack of discipline, whether it's procrastination or whatever it is, So that's my definition of discipline. That's what has defined discipline for me. So anytime I look at if I'm trying to get to a goal or I'm trying to maintain where I'm at, I was like, okay, if I don't do this, this is what's going to happen, right? So it's like a cause and effect. So that's what I look at discipline.
Got you. Tony?
I'd say for me, my personal definition for discipline for me is having a calculated balance of focus and pleasure.
Now you're gonna have to give me that whole entire page summary and introduction with the bio, because that was nice.
Essentially, the calculated balance between the focus and your pleasure. Okay, focus. What do I have to do? Where am I trying to go? What is my goal? How do I achieve this? And how much time is it going to take to get this done? Right? I'm going to calculate that, lay it all down, and then I'll take the pleasure and implement it into bits and pieces in between there. Because you can't be too focused all the time. Sometimes you need to take a second, have a little relaxation, and take a break. And that in turn will help you to remain focused and keep that passion or that fire going.
You see, when I believe I had discipline, I just realized that it was just a healthy habit. So when I start to envision discipline, like that proverb that you said, discipline, it said some scripture says discipline, some scripture says self control, but they go hand in hand. And it basically is like a city without walls.
Yeah.
Your enemies can leave, but not your enemies. Your enemies can enter the gates because there is none. But at the same time, all your officials, all the wealthy people, all the people that matter, basically all of your goods can leave as well. So while you're intaking all the negative, all the good positive essence of you is leaving due to the fact that you have zero self-control, aka zero discipline. And like you said, I like how you said pleasure. Because you normally don't hear the word pleasure when it comes to discipline. Mm-hmm. It's just work. And it's just like, well, if you just work. How the heck you want to just settle down?
Yeah.
Work.
I'm learning now that I have to treat myself. No matter how little I have done or big I have done, I got to treat myself. Mm-hmm. The other, like I just bought, remember how I asked you about like how you do the hairline joint for the razors? That was a treat. I was just like, maybe I should buy it. And it's crazy how we can be like, maybe you should buy it, maybe you should not for yourself. But then it's just like, I'm not going to do it. I'm learning now that a good, healthy habit is to treat yourself. And I feel like when you said that pleasure, like you got to balance out the work and the pleasure, you dang right.
It's true.
So what are like some type of like antidotes or some type of, because every day you won't have the same discipline.
No.
So like what keeps y'all disciplined? Like what do you do to keep you disciplined? I'm going to go start with Tony.
Are you starting with me today?
Oh, yeah, I'm looking directly at you.
Oh, Lord. Let's see. For me, how do I manage my discipline? Depending on the day, I listen to my body. Depending on how my body feels or depending on where my head or my mental space is. I'll listen to it, check it out, see what's going on. How am I feeling today? Why am I feeling like this? If I wake up and I feel like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to record. I don't want to set up the schedule. I don't want to put anything into play. Why do I feel this way? Is it because I'm not feeling well? Or is it because I just need a moment? Like, why is this feeling here?
And I feel like people don't realize like the why of it, because you do feel that way and it's easy just to be like, I'm going to just dwell in it. But when you can get to the root of why, it answers a lot.
Answers a lot of questions. And let's say, okay, if you're not feeling well, then all right, give yourself a break. Depending on if you're sick, lay down. Like, take a break. It's okay.
Take a breather.
Yeah. Or at least a couple hours and just let your body recuperate so that you can focus and get back to what you're doing. But if it's just that you're like, man, I've been working every day this week, I just don't feel like doing anything. Granted, those moments are okay.
They're warranted.
But what do you have left to do? It's better to get some of it done today than to leave it all for tomorrow, because at the end of the day, tomorrow is not promised, right? So take little bits and pieces of what you can put off for tomorrow, get a little of it done today. Let's say if you have 10 hours of work to get done, I don't feel like doing anything. Okay, let me do an hour's worth of work and get it done. I guarantee you that once you start that little hour, you might push it to 2 hours.
You might say 3.
They might say 3. And even if you call it a day at 3,
you at least
tomorrow, you only have 7. Like,
little by little. I fall victim to that when it comes to getting gas the day before. I'll be like, I don't feel like I don't got 5 minutes in my schedule to pump some gas. I'm going to just wait tomorrow because I'm going to have all the time tomorrow. And somehow all the time, I don't know if it's God, funny way of laughing at us, all the time. 5 minutes to pump gas turns to 15 minutes.
Yep.
And now you 30 minutes late to your destination. It's just like, if I would have done it last night, if I would have done it yesterday, it would have been different. And I feel like just for those little aspects of discipline, it'd be crazy. What about you, Ray?
So discipline, the first thing I do is have a plan, right? I have a plan in place. I say, okay, and I give an example, right? I want to get better certain rudiments at playing drums. I said, I'm going to spend an hour on my practice pads a day.
By the way, if you don't know what rudiments are, is just, I don't even know what they are. What are I feel like they are just how you in my brain. I'm like, yeah, rudiments. I was like, bro, we don't even know the Google definition.
They're like drum rhythmic patterns.
See,
that are
I was
used.
right. I may not be right, but I'm on it. I may not be right, but I'm on it.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, that's what I do. It's I have a plan. So the first thing is have a plan, and life happens. As Tony S says, you don't feel like doing it today, or maybe the time happens. Time comes. The kids are in the way, or life just happens. Life be lifing, right? But I always say to myself, what's the least I can do? Right? And there's days where you just skip. But okay, if I don't get this done today, how do I get back on track the next day? Because what can happen, right, is that you say, okay, I don't do it today. I don't do it the next day. All of a sudden, I'm going to do it tomorrow. And that turns into
Facts.
procrastination, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, what little steps or what many accomplishments or achievements I can do today to get to that goal. So I always start with a plan. And then once I'm in that plan, how do I adjust? Right? Because you can't be too rigid.
Yes.
True.
Right? How do I adjust to what's going on around me? And I think, like, when I was younger, I used to have a plan and I used to be so rigid. But what tends to happen is that, what I noticed is that because I'm so rigid, it becomes stressful, right? And then you start to procrastinate, right? So that's how I look at keeping discipline in my life. Always start with a plan.
There's a proverb out there, and it says, like, a man without a plan is just a wandering fool.
Mhm.
And that just means that you don't know where you're going, what's next. And through my entrepreneur businesses, because I've had many businesses and not all of them were successful, but I realized that the main thing that failed my previous business is that I did not have a plan. Because when life be lifing,
As it does.
you need something to go back to be like, all right, what was on the plan? Because even if the plan is not working, you have something to go back to be like, all right, maybe if I switch out step 8 to step 2, we might see a difference. Maybe if I take out these 3 of these steps and just focus on these 2 steps, that will make a difference. And I also like how you said that when you were younger, it'll be very rigid. I feel like when we're very rigid when it comes to discipline, we have no grace.
Yeah.
0 grace for ourselves. And grace is just basically undeserved kindness. And we need that at times.
You need that most times.
Because we end up being our biggest critic.
Yep.
You know how many times my brain told me that you're an idiot and he belongs to me.
My brain has said worse.
I mean, it has said worse, but
Yeah.
for today, it's been telling me I'm an idiot. And if I don't give myself grace, like for instance, even when it came to like even doing the first episode, when I saw like a little bit of fix, I'm like, that should have changed. If it wasn't for my wife who gave me grace at that moment, I would have been like, it sucked. But she was like, this is your first time. You did a great job. You released on the day that you wanted to release. And she started naming out all the positive. But I can only just focus on 3 negatives. I feel like when you are very rigid, you can only focus on the little negative that you were not able to do. But unfortunately, because you're not giving yourself grace, you don't have something to balance out that thing where it's just like, you know what? Maybe I did not accomplish what I accomplished, but guess what? I knocked out 1/3 of what I wanted to do today in spite of me feeling the way how I felt. So when it comes to like discipline, what are some things that you have seen or experienced where it has hindered or stopped your progression, whether you were working out or trying to stop something? Because discipline is not only to accomplish things, it's also to stop some things too. So like, what have you seen in your life that has stopped or hindered discipline? I'm gonna start with Ray.
Consistency.
Ooh,
Yeah.
talk on it.
Consistency. Right. It's very important to be consistent, and with consistency, there's repetitive learning. You're gonna fail. You're gonna have to relearn, and as I said, reassess as to what's going on around you, and that's a skill. That takes time to build. None of these things come overnight, right?
I wish.
So I would say for me, it has to be consistency. That will hinder your discipline. Yeah.
You mean a lack of
Lack of
consistency.
consistency.
Lack of consistency.
Yeah.
We just want to make sure it's the lack of consistency.
Lack of consistency.
Yeah.
You?
For me, what would hinder my discipline is being too rigid. Yeah, because sometimes I do get in that headspace. Okay, I had this planned out. This is what I want to do. I'm gonna wake up at this time and get it done, and I'm gonna make sure I do this for 3 weeks. And that's what's in my head. And even if something happens where there's a family function or things go on, or for whatever reason, I don't get to go to, well, I don't go to bed. I don't get to sleep as
She a
long
vampire, people.
as
She don't sleep at all. She Batman, saving the streets of Gotham at night.
for whatever reason, even if I don't get to sleep for as long as I would need to, I'd still get up at like 3 a.m. And I'll still, okay, I'm gonna do this for this amount of time, have my devotion for an hour or an hour and a half. All right, that's 4:30. 4:30, all right, I start putting on my workout clothes. I'm get this done, drink my protein or my pre-workout. All right, by 5 o'clock, I'm working out and I'm doing this full list of workout, whether it's 8 exercises or 10 exercises. I'm gonna get this done.
Facts.
I'm gonna knock it out. All right, by 6:30, drink my protein shake, try to jump in the shower, get ready, and do all of that. Right. And what would happen is I keep it up for however long, but then there'll be one day where it all breaks down and my body is just dead, depleted.
Don't even want to
And when that happens, that usually lasts for like 2-3 days. And after those 2-3 days of my body just being dead and depleted, to jump back into it is even harder. And I oftentimes don't.
And that's when it requires the most discipline. Because what you explained is like for the first 3 days, I think we experienced discipline, but its battery pack is powered by motivation. So when you feel motivated, it's easy to accomplish all those things that you may not want to do. But when it starts to like deplete, and for me, it will go into say like procrastination. For me, procrastination is broken down into 2 things: either laziness or fear. I think a lot of people, we dwell on the laziness part, but we don't really focus on the fear. Because the laziness is like, you might feel like you don't want to do it. Maybe I don't feel like it today. I'm like, that's normal. Like, all right, still get up.
Yeah.
That's easier to get over with. Unless you've been doing it like compound interest, then you're just a lazy person. But when it comes to the fear part,
Well, that will stop you.
oh, that would stop it.
Completely.
That will have you saying, oh, I'm about to get to that next week. And it's
Next
been
month.
3 years.
And you know what? I wanted to come back and come back to the question I said, you know what, and reevaluate, or I actually have something that was more on top of my list, and that was being a perfectionist, right? Being and you want it to be so good
perfect.
and so perfect that time lapses, the fear of you feeling, you want it to be so good, because that goes into fear as well, right?
True.
And then by that time, it's just like,
It doesn't
I don't
matter
wanna do
anymore.
it.
wanna-
Like, maybe I focus on it next year.
Yeah.
Or maybe I can focus it when I have the time. Because we're not saying that you scared, like you a scaredy cat or you a punk. Nah, that's not.
And
what we're saying.
it's not bad to be scared. It's not bad. It's normal, and it's a part of improving and doing whatever. It's bad when you allow it to deter you from your goal.
Fear isn't in just a state of mind, it's a state of being. Because you're so fearful at this. Like if I'm scared of something, I'm still acknowledging that it exists. I'm still seeing that it might be something that I'm scared of, but there's some type of self-awareness and I see it. And there's something in your brain that says you're scared of this, so you still acknowledge it. What fear will literally do is have you see it and you pay no mind to it because you're so scared just to think about it, talk about it, be about it, that is no longer even in your dictionary, your lifespan, or nothing. You just don't even, like, let's just say like this podcast. My fear was that nobody will come and listen to it. My fear was that you might not even like my voice. My fear was that you might think I'm stupid and I'm just talking out my ass. But at the same time, if I allow that to be a state of being, that could have just went off into a whole nother world of where I don't want to talk to nobody because I'm scared of my voice. I don't want to share any type of wisdom or any positivity because I might think that you might think I'm stupid or I'm just talking out my ass. It's one of those things where I see fear to be a crippling thing for discipline because you no longer have that motivation battery pack.
Right.
And I want to stress to people, it's great to have motivation. Like, motivation is important. But when you have those days where you don't feel like it,
Oh, you need that discipline.
motivation ain't there for you at all. Motivation has taken a vacation. It will be back in 2 business days, if best.
Gone.
And if it was COVID, whoo, you better wish it wasn't like the Amazon Prime during COVID, because 2 business days was 2 weeks. But that discipline is going to be right beside you to be like, yo, and like we had that last, and I understand that you feel lazy, and I understand that people might not like your voice, and
At least one person will.
and if every one person out of 100,000 likes my voice, there's 7 billion people in the world. I'm at least have 100,000 people who like my voice.
Mm-hmm.
So fear will have you just, and also fear also does have you believe the outlandish about yourself.
Yeah.
So what have you done to come over these things like procrastination, perfectionist, being too rigid, having fear in your life? Like what are the things that you have implemented? Because once you are feeling these things, it's hard to be disciplined in whatever you're doing. So when you start to feel these things, what do you start to do?
For me, I chop it up and I put realistic expectations of my day. If I have a project that's going to take me, let's say 5 days, whatever, 5 days, right? Wake up, depending on how I feel, I say, all right, I'm going to substitute this many hours for the day, or I'm going to give this task 5 hours for the day. All right, cool. I get to hour 3. I'm like, all right, how am I feeling? If I can push on, I push on. If I can do more, I do more. But when I get that feeling that, okay, I need a break, I take that break. Sometimes the break is like 5 minutes. I take a nap, something, go get something to eat. I can jump right back on it. Or I can say, all right, let me stop and I'll come back tomorrow. So I chop it up and then I take it as it goes.
Yeah, I would say similar to Tony Ann as well, where I adopted saying, let's say, being a perfectionist. What did I accomplish? Right? Take the good out of it. It's not going to be perfect. Is what I'm working on or the goal that I have, did I still accomplish it? Or if it's a project, is it completed enough to a standard where it impacted, maybe it's at my job, it impacted the folks around me, it benefited them. So I've learned to take, not to be too hard on myself and
Just
give myself some grace.
Yeah.
That has been very helpful, and it allows me to be more efficient, right? So when I'm done with something, I can move on to something else. It ain't perfect. And maybe later on I could come back out at it and make some adjustments and tweak it, and to get it to the level that I want it. But at least I'm not stuck at that point, right?
Yeah.
So that's some of the techniques that I've used.
My technique, I have planned laziness. It sounds weird. It's so true.
So like days or
What?
hours
Yeah,
of
too.
just
Ray has heard me say this, and I don't mean to just take it out of context. But after praise and worship on Sunday, I am Jewish. I observe the Sabbath. Do not ask me to do anything. I am depleted from the week. I am depleted. So these are planned laziness days. Because I know on Monday it's going to be twice as harder for me to push.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not going to feel like doing it. And because I don't want to feel like doing it,
You ain't gonna do it.
it's like granted, yeah, it's playing laziness, but I set up a trap for myself. Because if I have planned laziness days, then on Monday when I feel like I want to be lazy, it's just like you had that time. You remember how you was knocking out people on your Xbox for like 5 hours? You had that time. You remember when you was playing on your PS5 and you was just shooting on people? Like you had that time to be lazy.
Now it's time to get that business.
You gotta get it.
Get
Girl,
that
when I mean like
business.
my playing laziness has been so amazing for me. I remember days where it would be like, Cleve, can you? Nah, not today. I got something that came up. And to be honest, nothing is something that came up. I'm so serious. Yo, have days where you do nothing. Because if you over here running yourself down to the ground, what left do you have to give to yourself or other people?
Nothing.
Nothing at all. You out here working like a workhorse.
Like a Trojan.
It's a these techniques that we're taking is a part of getting to know yourself, right?
Yeah.
Right, self-awareness.
Yeah.
I'm gonna speak for me. When I was 20s, I got this. I thought I knew everything, and I'm at this age, which I'm not going to talk about right now. But I'm at this age.
Yo, I just want to let everyone know. If you think Ray is hitting 40, he's not. If you think Ray is close to 40, he not. So,
We're like in the same age range.
Huh?
We're in the same age range.
and I'm 30.
Yeah.
So, like, just take a game turn. Like, we between 30 to 35.
You playing.
Anyway, what you saying, Ray?
So, well, this is all about self-awareness, right? Knowing thyself, and it's a powerful thing because once you start to go on the journey of knowing what makes you tick, what makes you act a certain way, you could start to create these boundaries and plan things out for yourself. So you always want to make sure that, it's in life, you take that time out to say, okay, reflect. How can I have done this better? What did I do wrong? Am I pushing myself too hard? Am I being a perfectionist? Maybe I need to plan lazy days, which is something that's more along the lines of pleasure because it's let go, right? So knowing yourself is also a part of this journey of discipline, right? Yeah.
Know thyself to be true. Because if you know yourself to be true, no one can really tell you anything. Like, you're not about to have. Also, another thief of like discipline is comparison.
Comparison is a thief of joy.
Yeah,
of
joy.
everything.
Say that again, girl.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
If you out here trying to compare your discipline to someone who's been disciplined for at least over a good 2 years, let's say 2 years, you not about to be that person. I feel as though when, let's just say, like, just working out. The first thing we normally do is we find the personal trainer that has the body that we looking for to get. And then we start trying to do what the personal trainer has been doing at the level the personal trainer has been doing at this now level. Not then level, now level. And then we start trying to compare what he's doing. He waking up at this time, doing at this time, doing this workout, lifting this weight, eating this. If that's not you, don't compare yourself to him. Because if you're trying to still get his goals, then know yourself. If you know you're not about to really be out here eating nothing but leaves, mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
If you know that you're really not a 6 a.m. person, work at trying to get to 6 a.m. or close to 6 a.m. If you can't lift 20 pounds, start at 10.
Start at 5.
Start at 5 for those who can't go to 10. But if you start trying to compare yourself, it's going to rob you of that joy. But then you're trying to match yourself up to a discipline that has been cultivated for years. You don't know what he had to do to get to that point where he's now waking up at 6 o'clock, now eating nothing but greens, and now lifting 50 pounds.
Yeah.
For you to get there, you need to know yourself and also work with yourself. So on my planned laziness days, it's just like, we know you a lazy bum, and you love to be a lazy bum. I'm a vacationer.
Me too.
As soon as I get to the resort, I ain't moving nowhere. We ain't going to no excursions. We ain't about to do any type of rides. First day is for me to be lazy and call it a day. But it's like, yo, just treat yourself, because once you know yourself, bro, once you know yourself and you're self-aware, no one can direct you wrong. No one can steer you wrong. And you can steer yourself the right way.
Yeah.
It won't be perfect because we still learning each other.
Yeah.
There's no way my brain knows where my kidneys are and where my femur is, and I can't even tell you where it's at located in my body. So of course I'm gonna have to still learn myself.
Yo, listen, bro. What you said about comparison, that I used to compare myself a lot to other drummers, right? And that killed my passion at some point. And I used to be like, I can't do that. You know, and I used to be so consumed about what people think because I see how nice these other guys are. And then again, you don't know how much in depth they went or what they went through to learn themselves and what steps they had to take to become where they are.
Facts.
Enjoy and have fun, you know, is what I've learned when playing music. Having fun is most important. Like at this point, I don't care what people think.
It sounds like me when my singing.
You know?
Because when I started singing, I used to try to compare, like, why can't I never hit that high note? Why can't I never do like a riff that sounds sexy? I'm not a riff person. And it took a while because in my head, the guy who can do the high notes, the guy who can do the riffs, he's the best singer, and I'm just some...
Yeah.
Until I start to learn, like you said, enjoy the music for yourself. Because when people see me lead praise and worship, it's like, yo, you having fun. Like, I don't care. Y'all know how much I be sweating up there, bro. I'll be drenched. And I got to have to get to the point where it's just like, that's my worship. Because if I have to be so concerned or compare myself to the people who be doing the singing and don't sweat, I'm going to be stealing my praise, stealing my worship, or stealing my blessing from who gave it to me. So I had to fall in love with the music in itself. That's why if you ever see me lead a worship song, I'm dancing, even if it's a little two-step or a little bop. But that's because I know what that song means to me. I'm comfortable with the song, and I'm comfortable with myself.
Right.
Yeah. Stop
And-
trying to fit the mold.
And that discouragement as well, it's self-inflicting, right? And it makes you fall off your... I was like, I'm so disciplined, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yo, why am I seeing these results? You know, why am I not at this level?
It's like shooting yourself in the chest with a shotgun.
Nah, nobody's robbing me. I'm not robbing myself in that joy ever again, man. That's what I'm learning.
Create your own mold rather than
Yeah.
trying to fit someone else's.
So if you had a page, or you have a page from your book, because I like to end off the pod with, you know, ripping a page out from your book and telling, you know, the viewers or the listeners, you know, what we're about. What would you give? What page would you give to them?
I'd say analyze how you feel. So whether it is you wake up, you don't feel like it, why? And if it's a why where, like I said, if it's your health, take the time. But if it's something else, push past it.
What about you, Ray?
There is a quote that I thought came from one of my favorite rappers that says, repetition is the mother of learning.
Wasn't that either Busta or Method?
No, that was Lil Wayne.
Oh.
But it didn't come from him. And the whole quote goes, repetition is the mother of learning and the father of action, which makes it the architecture of accomplishments.
Ooh.
So
Say
when
that
I was blown away.
Say that again.
Nah, we're gonna have to do the Jamaican rewind. Do it again.
Repetition is the mother of learning, the father of action, which makes it the architect of accomplishments.
Ooh.
Right. So as you're learning, and you are going through these phases of trying to figure out how to stay disciplined, you keep what works, right? And there's times you're gonna fail, you pick back up, right? Because it's all about the learning experience. But keep taking the action every day to try to keep on track, right? So it could be the architecture of your accomplishments.
I love that.
And whatever they said is, nah, let me stop. Whatever they say was sufficient. Nah. Granted, I only touched on it for maybe a few, but to be honest, don't compare yourself out there. Because granted, it's going to be a thief of joy, but you're really just going to just deplete when it just comes to discipline in itself. So when you are out there and you're trying to develop your own discipline, one, don't compare yourself, but two, know yourself to be true. If you see something that you think you can do, try it. But if you learn that this is something that I cannot handle, be okay with that and learn now how to handle it. Because just like Ray say, repetition is gonna help you. Because just because you're not okay with it now doesn't mean that you can never be okay with it then, you know? And that we're gonna wrap it up here. Yo, thank you for staying. Thank you for listening.
Yes.
Thank you for stopping by. I hope your week turns out better than it was. And if it was good, it's gonna be greater, bro. But hit us up on Instagram, BLNK_PGZ. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, RSS feed. I'm not sure where the rest of the are. But yeah, we're also on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook.
And
YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, they
like, share, subscribe, tell your mother, tell your father, tell your friends, tell everybody.
tell your enemy,
Everybody.
blank pages. We heard you stay. But thank you guys for listening. Like, subscribe, share, and turn on the notification button so you can know when we drop. We drop every second and fourth Saturday of each month. Yes, I said it. Each month. But besides that, yeah, that's it.
All right.
Yeah.
Stay blessed. Be safe.
Yeah. Stay blessed and not stressed. Yeah, we gotta really. Yeah, I don't know how many times I'm gonna say that. All right. That was great. That was nice.